So Joe Biden did an exclusive interview here with ABC News. David Muir did the interview. This guy is straight out of Central Casting. He looks like he was made in a lab to be one of these nightly news reporter guys. But shockingly, even this guy, who does not have a great track record, sort of grills Biden here on the comparison with him and Trump, particularly when it comes to classified and top secret documents. Let's look at the back and forth, and we'll see how it goes, and I'll break it down for you.
You and the former president are both now under investigation by the Justice Department for the discovery of these classified documents. I know that you believe these two cases are very different, but I do remember something you said after the discovery at Mar-a-Lago. You said, "I thought data that was in there may compromise sources and methods and names of people who help, and it's just totally irresponsible." Can you assure the American people that none of the documents discovered in your garage or at your old office compromised sources or methods or U.S. intelligence?
I've been advised by the counsel, let the Justice Department make that decision, to not try to alter the case in any way. There have been very few documents that have been confiscated, found in my possession that were in my possession, meaning in my home. All the stuff that was moved out of my Senate office over the years, I'm told there were a couple things that were from 1973 or 74. Documents were marked classified. I don't know of anything, and maybe I don't know of anything that is marked like it was, top secret, highly, et cetera. But I'm told not to comment on that because I don't even know what they are able to, what they confiscated.
There are many who will understand why you can't comment, why your lawyers are saying not to comment. They also saw you, though, comment on former President Trump. And so at the very least... Because,
look, here's what they were showing. You guys were showing on television things lying on the ground that said top secret, national, code word. And the difference is every single solitary thing I've been asked to do, I've done voluntarily. I've invited the Justice Department to come into every aspect of any place that I had any control of. There was no need for search warrants, no need. What do you need? Just come. Whatever you want. Whatever you want, wherever you want to go, you can go. That was totally different.
But that one word you used, when you hear about boxes in your garage or in your old office, you called the Trump discovery irresponsible. Is there something irresponsible here, though, too?
You're a good lawyer, but you're trying to make a comparison. There's degrees of irresponsibility they can be significant degrees of responsibility. The way in which the boxes were packed up from my office, apparently not everything was gone through as meticulously as it should have, but there was no intention. I opened up my home, all my homes. The home at the beach and the home my permanent home. And they spent hours and hours going through everything, personal, everything I had. And that's a fundamentally different thing. There's nothing for me to hide.
Okay, so the one point he makes that's true is he's cooperated every single step of the way with law enforcement. And he's like, look, I'm an open book. Whatever I took or didn't take was totally inadvertent. It wasn't purposeful. Come look through all my stuff. I don't care. I got nothing to hide. That part is true. And Trump did the exact opposite. He clearly was trying to hide the fact that he took these documents. Then that raises a bigger question. Well, what the hell did you use these documents for? And in the case of Trump, we happen to know Jared Kushner shared top secret and classified information with MBS in Saudi Arabia. And that led to Mohammed bin Salman cracking down on dissent and cracking down on fellow Saudi elites who may have challenged his power. So I guess it's not a surprise then that Jared Kushner got $2 billion from the Saudi government for his business venture. Okay, so that's sketchy, right? There's a problem there. Now, in the case of Biden, is it possible that he had this classified information, he was selling it or whatever? Of course, that's possible. And they should probably look into it more and figure out if that's true, and that's exactly what they're doing. Okay. So that part is true from Biden. I cooperated. He didn't. Fair enough. But guys, what percentage of Americans going through this issue or just learning about it at a very surface level, what percentage of Americans are going to parse through all the details and say, oh, well, here's the difference between the Biden thing and the Trump thing. No, the general takeaway from your average American, your normie, is going to be like, that guy took classified and top secret documents and he shouldn't have. This guy took top secret and classified documents and he shouldn't have. Wow, seems like it's a big club and you ain't in it. And if you're inside that club, they get away with it time and time again. I mean, there was that story about Mike Pence had classified documents. To be fair, he had fewer than Biden and fewer than Trump, and he also cooperated immediately, right? But after a while, it becomes a wash. Trump is the luckiest guy on the planet. He does something egregiously wrong, and then with other people who are political figures, it's like, yeah, close enough, right? Like, close enough. The optics of it are just bad, and that's the main point here. The optics of it. You have a guy in Donald Trump who is so beatable and such a bad candidate and has such a track record of failure and is so unhinged. And, like, now there is still a question as to whether or not Biden can beat him in 2024. The polls, shift on that all the time. And that shouldn't be the case. I mean, it's the lowest bar in the world to clear to beat Trump and this Republican Party. And because this is the figurehead of the Democrats, it's not an open and shut case. It's not a guarantee. Man, like, for the love of God, can you play this optics game a little bit better? And he can. And he can't do it. Look, I know somebody who's running who has no classified documents. Marianne Williamson. And that gets to my final point on this, which is like, the main thing Democrats put over every other issue in 2020 was electability. So in other words, they played this meta game where it was like, I need to vote for the person who other people would definitely vote for over Trump. It wasn't like, who's the best candidate? What are their policies? Let me go with my head. Let me go with my heart. It was this game of like, I'm told Biden is the most electable and is the most likely to beat Trump, so I'm going to go for Biden. And thankfully in 2020, Biden did beat Trump. But this time, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, Biden is not the most electable Democrat in a general election against Trump or DeSantis. Marianne Williamson is definitely more electable. All the surface, the optics of this, Trump does something bad, Biden does something similar, right? Trump's old and unhinged, Biden can barely complete a sentence. He's a zombie. Gaffe after gaffe after gaffe. Bold policy agenda got through maybe 25% of it, if I'm being kind. This is not how you stop the rise of the far right. This is not how, you get the American people on your side. You need a bold agenda that helps working people. And you also need to not fail at the easiest parts of the game. The easiest part of the game is just managing the optics. But Trump does something, and it's always like, Biden's like, well, he did something similar. And Trump has now turned this issue into a wash, the top secret and classified documents. In the same way that the pussy-grabbing tape came out in 2016, and Trump goes out there at the next debate and says, look, it was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it. I said it. It's not good. But Hillary's husband is a rapist. And by the way, I brought all the people who accused him of sexual assault. They're here in the front row. So he made an issue that was a political loser for him and turned it into a wash. Trump can turn around and eat Biden alive over the classified document thing and make it a wash. He's so vulnerable. He's so unelectable now. For the love of God, we gotta go in a different direction, man. We do. It's crazy this is even a conversation now. This whole line of attack against Trump, which was merited and legitimate, is now null and void. Because you have to get into the weeds and the particulars in order to make the argument, well, Biden's classified document thing isn't as bad as Trump's classified document thing. It's like, okay, Jesus. Well, Marianne Williamson does not have a classified document problem. She doesn't. And she's for a living wage. She's for universal health care. She's for getting money out of politics. She wants to revive FDR's New Deal and the Economic Bill of Rights. That's what we need. That's what we need. And so, for the love of God, take yes for an answer, American people and Democratic primary voters. So, this is classic Biden, man. It is. You find something terrible Trump did, and Biden always does something similar. I mean, we can go on and on. Trump with his build the wall, build the wall, build the wall. Well, there's a video of Biden in the 1990s saying we need some sort of a fence at the southern border. Title 42, remain in Mexico. Trump did it. Biden kept it in place. The list goes on and on. Iraq war, right? Like, Trump wasn't in office at the time, tepidly supported it in his commentary. Biden was actually in favor of it and voted for it, right? Like, just give us a clear choice that is not even remotely like Trump and the Republicans. Well, now we have that, and so people should take it. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.